Well, we're on to number 6, and I think it's a topic that quite often suppliers don't want to talk about, right? They want things to go on for as long as possible with as many people as possible, but it's that little four-letter word, cost. So talk
Okay.
us how we frame that out. Why think we think that's so important from a delivery point of view?
Yeah, I think the software industry have always been poor about reflecting the total cost of ownership of solutions. So, people will factor in the development cost, the delivery costs of the first solution, any subscriptions, etc., any support costs, but actually the cost of, the human cost of maintaining things, the impact on the business of not rolling out changes or of defects, it's always been kind of fairly weak, I think, in the industry. So again, when we're looking at a legacy system, people may feel, well, actually, we've not got many developers working on it anymore. It's actually not costing the business much. But actually, when you factor in the extended support costs that may occur, the cost of fixing issues, the cost of not innovating in that solution, then suddenly you're starting to get a business case for saying, well, you leave it on a maybe what's perceived as a cheaper solution, right? Um, you know, Suddenly the business case stacks up for saying, no, let's invest now, bringing that up to the standard of our other products and being able to leverage the advantages of that and over time start to minimize the cost of that. We see a lot of legacy systems whereby our customers have negotiated with the sort of vendors extended support, with the idea that, well, we're going to be off this within 12 months, so we can pay a premium for specialist support. In my view, it's never a good idea if you don't really have an end game for that. So one of the things we like to do when we look at a legacy system is really evaluate what it really is costing you. What is the cost of skills? Is the plentiful, cheap resources in that technology, or is it very specialized, very expensive resources, right? The software, is it in support? Is it already covered under your license cost that you paid? Or are you coming to a period where you've got to pay for extended support? The hardware, often kind of ignored. If this is a cloud SaaS solution, if it's still on premise, then that hardware, you may not be paying for it now, but you may be reached with a big bill to get that onto a supported version or to replace that. So, there are a number of elements really to assess what this legacy system is really costing you in total cost of ownership terms. And it's something that can't be ignored when you're looking at how to migrate that, or maybe the roadmap for doing that. You might need to get it onto a supported platform first of all. You might want to get it off the hardware that it's on first of all. You may want to leave some elements of the solution because actually those aren't costing you that much, and you might want to focus on the real costing elements that are going to move out of support.
I think people listening to that, especially stakeholders and especially people that will be signing the checks, will find that a really refreshing modern approach, a grown-up approach to what is going to be absolutely key in the making all these big decisions that clearly they've got to make, and when those big decisions take place. I think in one of our other conversations, we talked about how do we know what horse to back from a technology point of view? And that really taps hard into this, right? So we can't make those decisions for you, but what we can do is give you best advice on what products, what services, and what is trending in the right direction that will see you over the next 10 years be in a really good place.
Yeah, and I think that the big sort of phrase I use is you don't want to be trapped in your new technologies as well. So you want to come up with an approach. And I see a lot of people who feel they're trapped. They've got the backs to the wall on their legacy systems. They're having to pay the vendors, extended support because the effort to get off it is more than that extended support. So as we look about this modernization, let's consider that up front. Let's consider how we can build in options to make sure that we're not tied to one cloud vendor, or we're not tied to a particular product that is we're beholden to the vendor as to what the costs of that is. Let's put an architecture in place that allows you to be a little more agile and to be able to move if the cost gets prohibitive.